What typically goes wrong in the case of contagion is that there are no circuit breakers. Now, if there had been circuit breakers in early January 2020, if there had been early interruptions of travel from Wuhan, we could perhaps have contained the pandemic. But the fact was that the flights kept flying right the way through towards the end of January. And by that time, the virus was everywhere. Mainly because of a cover up by the Chinese authorities, which meant that we lost precious weeks. But if you look at financial contagion, the need for circuit breakers is quite well known. And some circuit breakers exist in the financial system, but I suspect not enough. So I think one needs to look at the network and say, well, what would happen if, I mean, this is the kind of thing that you do a lot if you're into software, cybersecurity. What would you do if there was really an infected node and you had some kind of malware? You'd very quickly want to put a cordon around that node and cut it off. We need to be aware that networks have to have circuit breakers if contagions to be stopped. And let me add a final point. One reason that we've done quite badly in the last year and a half is that there's been a parallel infodemic of fake news about the virus, about the vaccines. And that's a new problem that didn't really exist in, say, the 1950s. And I think we don't think enough about how contagions of magical thinking, let me use that term, can really disrupt our response to a crisis because we've created, in the form of institutions like Facebook, really powerful engines for the spread of disinformation and misinformation. And nobody has figured out how to regulate that problem. Clearly, censorship isn't the answer, but we better come up with some answer, or each crisis will be accompanied by a contagion of craziness.